So it's now been 1 month since we got news of Jonghyun's death, and it's been kind of a weird month for me. I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe. Like, I still have my life from before, but then I also have this side life where it's like something's missing. I titled this video "The Nightmare" because the moment I heard of Jonghyun's death, it felt like I was having a bad dream, and I just never woke up from it. And I still feel like, you know, when you have a dream and you still feel the effects of like you're in that dream right after you wake up. So you're not, you don't feel fully awake, but you don't feel fully asleep. That's kind of how my life has been this past month, I feel like. And so I kind of want to share my reaction of hearing Jonghyun's death, and then just go on from there. So I had my day. I went to class. I went and was playing with some kids, and then I came home and fixed dinner and was finishing up some work on the computer, and then I opened up my Twitter, and that's where I read the news, and I was just like so in shock. Like, it couldn't be true. It had to be a lie. It had to be some kind of weird gossip. And so I kept clicking on everything that I could find, any news article title about Jonghyun, and just kept clicking, and everything was saying the same thing. And I was just like in shock. I just felt numb. Like, I just felt like I was just sitting at my computer screen, just it was just, I don't know. And like, I cried a lot, and I woke up the next morning to get ready for class, and I was just sluggish, and my eyes were all puffy from crying. And I went to class, and I was talking with my teacher, and he mentioned it because I guess it had been on the news, and then I started talking, and I cried again while I was talking about it. Like, anytime I mentioned Jonghyun's name, I just started crying, and everyone was kind of looking at me weird, like, and I can kind of understand why, because why would I be crying for somebody I don't even know personally? He was just some singer, some famous person. Why would I cry so much for somebody like that? And I felt weird because there's people that I'm close to that have died, and I haven't cried like I have for Jonghyun. And so it's like I slowly started getting my life back, I guess. Like, the next day was hard too, and just every day was a little bit better, but it was like something had fractured and something had separated in my life, where I have my normal life that I've always had, and then there's this side life. Well, I feel like I'm split in two. It's really weird. I don't know how to say it other than that. And I still, I'll be listening to the radio, and a Shiny song will come on, or one of his solo songs will come on, and I just start crying. But now it's like the first couple weeks was like sobbing crying, and here recently it's like quiet tears. Just the tears just come. There's no like, And then the award show, I can't remember which one it was, where Lehigh sang "Breathe" for the tribute for Jonghyun. The first note to start the tribute video, I started crying, and I'm crying now talking about it. And then she started singing, and I was like, oh, she's doing so much better than I could ever do, because I would be losing it right now. And then I saw her, she was like holding her stomach like this. You can't see it, but with her hand, and I was like, oh, she's about to lose it. I think she's feeling like the emotions, and sure enough, like right after I thought that, she lost it. And I sympathize with her because I've been there when I've been singing a song that makes me emotional, or I think about something that's related to the song, like a memory or something that's got attachment to it, and I lose it. And I felt so bad for her, but I appreciated her honesty in the song and how she portrayed her emotions in that, because I think it was what every one of us would were feeling. And I wanted to give some kind of a positive feedback to the end of this video, so I looked up this verse. This is the only thing I could think of. I just kept thinking about enduring, even though we're in a nightmare, and it feels like a lot of times we want God to take us out of things, but sometimes I think He leaves us in it so that we can learn and grow from it. And I was just reminded of Paul in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, starting in the middle of verse 7. He says, "A thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from becoming conceited. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But He said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore," Paul says, "I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses." And he lists a few other things. "For when I am weak, then I am strong." And I just kept thinking about Jonghyun and how he didn't have the strength to endure whatever he was going through. And I said this in my last video, I related to Jonghyun because I've had those same feelings, but because of Jesus, I found hope to overcome those feelings when I get in those feelings. And here, Paul says that God's grace is sufficient. And to boast in the weakness, those times where you feel down and you don't feel like you can get out, that's when Jesus comes, and that's when He becomes our helper and our comforter, and His strength is what gets us through. It's not anything we can find in ourselves, it's what we find in Christ. So I just wanted to encourage you. Talk about, I'm still grieving. It's a month later and I'm still grieving, and talk about your grief, express it. Don't try to deny it or cover it up. Put it out there. And if you're going through something, if you're feeling thoughts of giving up and you can't do this anymore, turn to Jesus, because His strength is what makes you strong.